here is, and this, this speaks to, it's just a coincidence that I mentioned during this interview with David Wallace Wells, that maybe we need someone who is talking about relieving student debt and then also happens to have a strong climate change perspective to win into office and actually do something about climate change, at least to the extent that the United States can influence it. It was a coincidence, but there was a report that was just recently put out. I mean, I think like literally within the past couple of days. Maybe it wasn't in the past couple of days, but I've been seeing it more for some reason. That the economic case for canceling all student debt. And there is a report out, maybe it's a very recent actually, that suggests that canceling student debt, $1.4 trillion of student debt, would end up bringing far more in economic activity because, of course, student debt holds you back. You don't buy a house. You don't have kids. You stay stuck in one job, and you maybe there's a couple of entrepreneurs out there that we'll never know about because they have to continue their crappy job at a podcast, say, because and they can't go out on their own because they've got to pay their student debt. Here's Jacob Soboroff. He's in UC Irvine. This is in Orange County. This is California's like sort of, I don't want to say ground zero, but one of the hearts of republicanism in California. He went out there to see what motivates students to vote. Interesting.
Bus stop at UC Irvine. There are, I think, 26,000 kids that go to school here. And if the Democrats can get all of them to vote for them, then maybe Republicans will be in trouble in this district. But I don't know. Sorry, not to be annoying, but we're with NBC News, and I'm just trying to figure out, is anybody here going to vote in the election on November 6th? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody's going to vote? Is anybody going to vote in the congressional election in November? You are. Thank you, sir. Yeah. What do you care about?
What do I care about?
Yeah.
School.
What about you? I'll walk with you to the bus stop. You guys get on this bus?
Yeah.
So if you were going to vote, what is the thing that's going to get your vote?
Probably school and expensive.
I was going to say, you're not talking about the issues that people talk about on the news all the time. The Russia investigation, the Supreme Court. You don't watch that stuff?
I don't watch news.
Are you registered to vote?
Not yet.
Not yet. How old are you?
18.
18. So this could be your first election.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you could decide whether or not the House of Representatives is in Democratic or Republican control. Are you thinking about all that?
Not currently. Maybe if I took more time to get informed about what's going on right now in politics. I assume that the people voting have at least some idea of who they're voting for.
Are you going to vote?
I should. We're the most unreliable voter demographic, so I should vote to increase those numbers,
Well, that's what the Democrats want. But they can't count on you guys necessarily.
No.
No.
Slowly, if you keep asking us these questions, the rest of the people our age are going to keep doing it. They're oh man, better vote. All the old people telling us to vote now.
Oh, am I old?
No.
Oh boy. It's hard to get people, I think, to tune into this stuff when you're in college.
Well, they should run on the things that the college kids care about, right?
Yeah, but I think it's also just hard to get them to even be aware. I don't know how much any of these folks would even know, that there was somebody suggesting that they're addressing their needs or their interests. I mean, in college anyways, I think people are far, just not necessarily engaged in the same way. I mean, I think for some students,
it almost feels like they're too young. I mean, I know people are adults technically at 18, but a lot of these kids, especially freshmen, they were just under their parents' house roof last year. Like they're still figuring stuff out. Like I don't expect much from, and they don't even, and to be honest, like the student loan stuff hasn't even really kicked into them.
Right.
That's not even real at
Oh
that
yeah.
point.
Yeah, you know what radicalized me and made me politically active? Trying to survive on my own in the world.
Well, yeah. That's exactly the point.